And so we started to develop a process that was based on a couple of central things. The foundation of this process was this notion of co-creation, a kind of co-creation that happened when people shared their maps with each other, when they explored these maps together, when they vulnerably investigated what each other's needs were, and then started to work towards really creating solutions, ideas, processes, problem-solving methods that were specific and tailor-made to each other's needs. And what we realized was that in watching our students do this with each other, in watching people in our workshops come up with new methods to be together, to connect with each other, to surmount obstacles that they were facing in their lives, we started to understand the power of getting out of conflict and looking at a problem together and imagining a new reality.
For me, a lot of this really came together, funny enough, on basically the last day of class. Over the course of the quarter, we had asked the class on 3 separate occasions to come in preparing to share a story. Maybe it was a situation of something challenging, or a conversation they were having where something that we covered in class felt particularly alive for them in the moment. So not during class, something, in their regular lives. And why I say a lot of this snapped into place is because the amazing thing was to see how people changed from the first time they shared to the third time they shared. Now, the first time people shared the types of stories that people would say, that there was a lot of anxiety, there was a lot of nervousness to it, because they were talking, a lot of people shared very deeply personal challenges that they had. It could be with friends, with coworkers, even with parents or families, where people were just being misheard or misunderstood, or they were having a hard time either empathizing or being empathized with in those situations. Now, by the third time they shared, not only had a lot of those relationships that they were talking about in the first day completely transformed, and a lot of the interdynamics people were feeling anxious about, a lot of that stuff had just gone away. But the types of situations people are talking about now were things that I think they would have never even dreamed of going into those places on the first time that they shared with us. It was just so heartwarming to see, because people had not only taken charge of their own lives, a lot of the situations that they were having anxieties with, but they were finding comfort and ease in situations that they never would have even thought of before, or would have been too anxious or frightened to approach. And it was just, it was an incredible transformation. It was very humbling and very rewarding to see how deep vulnerability, deep connection, deep co-creation can help people feel safe enough to not only address issues that they're having in the moment, but then also to take the next step forward, and then the next step forward, and the next step forward, where at the end of the day, looking behind them, they've completely transformed as people, as listeners, as speakers, and friends and family members.
We've taken our work outside of the classroom, into workshops, into lots of different kinds of public spaces, and have just found it beautiful, moving, and exciting to see the potential that is possible when people come together to hear each other. So, thank you for listening.
So, given everything that you've heard today, what is your challenging situation? What are the conundrums that you're facing? Maybe it's something that you haven't quite been able to scratch beneath the surface of, or if it's a situation where you're not quite sure what to make of it, or perhaps you fully understand what's going on, but collaboration is hard, and maybe you're not sure what that next step to take is. Either way, drop us a line, write to us in our messages, or reach out to us on our website, and share your map with us. And together, perhaps we'll be able to co-create something that'll help sort things out. Thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.